Hello everybody, welcome to another video of Trek Talk here on the Wojciech Experience. And today I want to talk about the first half of the first season of the new show, Star Trek Picard. This is a show that a lot of people has been anticipating, myself included, to see what's been going on with Captain Picard since the last time we saw him, which was in the 2002 movie Star Trek Nemesis. And we get to see what has led him from then to now. And of course, it touches a little bit on what also happened in the beginning part of the 2009 J.J. Abrams Star Trek reboot movie, Star Trek, where you see this big supernova that destroyed the Romulan homeworld. And of course, that ends up, sending Spock and the Romulan Nero back in time, which started the whole Kelvin timeline thing. But that's a video for a whole other thing there. But basically, it touches on that, like, okay, what happened after that happened in the Prime Universe. And basically, we get to see that because of this supernova, Picard gets, promoted to Admiral, and he leaves the Enterprise and gets his own ship, the Verity, I believe it is, and tries to rescue as many Romulans as he can. They're building a fleet of ships on Mars to, come and rescue as many and relocate as many Romulans as they can. But, of course, there's an attack on Mars and on the Utopia Planitia fleet yards by androids, which they call synths, which of course is an offshoot of Lieutenant Commander Data from Next Generation. Basically, if you remember the episode called A Measure of a Man in Next Generation's second season, we're introduced to a guy named Bruce Maddox, who's a cyberneticist who wants to pretty much, make more of Data's, because he studies Data's creator, Dr. Soong's work, and he wants to, figure out how he created Data and, and all that stuff. And he wants to pretty much make more androids. But anyhow, I'll touch on that in another video too, about what all happens in that episode. But basically, Data gets the rights of a sentient being because, and of course, Data and Bruce Maddox, begin like a little pen pal type friendship thing, and and the rest is history on that part of it. But in Picard, it looks like that he succeeded in creating androids based on Data's brother B4, because as we know, at the end of Star Trek Nemesis, Data sacrifices himself for his crew, for Captain Picard, and so. But anyhow, these androids are working with the people at the Utopia Planitia yards on Mars, and something happens where they rebelled and they attack Mars and everything. And because of this, all synthetic life forms are banned in the Federation, and because there's no ships, Starfleet pretty much abandons the whole plan to save the Romulans. And so because of this, Picard ends up resigning from Starfleet and returns back home to France at his family vineyard, and pretty much that's where he is when you find him at the beginning of the season. And pretty much you come to find out that Bruce Maddox, even though it was banned, he continued his work, and he basically created two female androids that don't know that they're androids, pretty much. And they're like so real that you wouldn't know that they, weren't real. Using neurons from Data's neural net from when he, I guess, tried to download his essence into before, that's funny, before this whole thing with him dying and everything in that movie. And of course, the one, Dodge, is in danger because these mysterious people show up and, basically try to kill her, and she goes and seeks out Picard for whatever reason. She's like getting these visions like, I have to go find Captain Picard. So she does. Picard tries to help her, but unfortunately things happen. She doesn't make it. And you find out the people that are attacking her are actually Romulans and members of the Romulan Tal Shiar, actually. And they're trying to get rid of all artificial life because they somehow believe that, they're going to be some kind of big destroyer of worlds or something. And basically, then Picard finds out through the story that, Dodge had a sister, Soji, who is out there somewhere, but we see that she's actually working on a captured Borg cube. They're trying to, the drones that are on there, they're trying to kind of remove the Borg parts and try to get them to be, reacclimate them to what they were before they were assimilated and all that stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to go completely into detail, but basically she's there. She has no idea who she really is. And you see that there's some Romulan spies out there trying to get information from her. And because they know she's an android, but she doesn't know she's an android. And so Picard finds out that, like I said, that Dodge had this sister, and now he is pretty much going back into space to find out what's going on, try to save her so she doesn't suffer the same fate as her sister. And of course you meet the people who are becoming Picard's ragtag crew. Basically, people who are also broken and, not really in line with Starfleet anymore and stuff. So that's how the adventure is going. And so far, you find out what's been going on also with Seven of Nine from Star Trek Voyager, because she shows up too. And you get to find out what happened to the character of Icheb, which was also on Star Trek Voyager, which was another Borg drone that was liberated from the collective by Captain Janeway and their crew. And like I said, the adventure continues. And you get a lot of backstory on what happens, because most episodes start out with a flashback to what happened years ago and what caused this whole thing with Picard, not being in Starfleet anymore, what's causing some of the other characters to not really, be in Starfleet anymore as well. Like the character of Raffi, she used to serve under Picard when he was an admiral, and of course, when he ends up resigning, she ends up getting fired from Starfleet, and she's got some issues going on with that, and it seems that she has some kind of addiction going on that she's trying to work through. And then you meet this other character, Rios, who's they haven't explained it yet, but something happened and he ended up leaving Starfleet, and he's pretty much his own person on the ship that they end up going on this adventure on with him. And hopefully we'll find out exactly what happened with him, because that's Huh, phone's ringing. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. Sorry about that little interruption there. Debt collectors, they call all the time. So anyhow, where was I? You know what? I really don't remember exactly where I was. So anyway, I'll just pick it up where I'm just going to pick it up at. So anyhow, basically, so far, they're trying to locate where Dodge's sister Soji is, and at the very end of the episode, they figure out where she is on the Borg cube that the Romulans have been doing some stuff with, and, you know, trying to liberate more people from the Borg that are on that ship. Oh, I forgot, speaking of the Borg ship, we also get to see Hugh from the Next Generation episode I, Borg, and the two-part episode Descent. What's been going on with him? He's actually in charge of this whole thing with the Borg, trying to liberate these people and, you know, get rid of all their Borg parts. And he was the Borg that was injured in the Next Generation episode I, Borg, and the crew basically nurse him back to health, and he starts getting some of his humanity and, you know, being more of an individual than being a Borg drone in that episode. And he befriends the crew, the Enterprise, and of course he ultimately goes back with the Borg so that the Borg don't attack the Enterprise, and somehow that individuality spread through the Borg on that ship, and it ended up getting disconnected from the hive mind, and you get to see what happened to him since then. And of course he's got a new look there, like all his Borg implants in his face and stuff are all gone. You see the scars, but he's in charge of this, and so you get to see what's going on with you after all these years. So that's pretty interesting. And like I also said, interesting to see what's happening with 7 of 9 since the end of Voyager, and what happened to the character of Icheb, who basically 7 kind of considered to be the closest thing she's ever going to have to her own child. So you get to see what happens there. So that is pretty cool for that. So I will say that so far, Star Trek Picard does not disappoint. It's not so much as action as Star Trek Discovery. It does have some action stuff in it, but it keeps it pretty much in the back burner. Like, you see it, but it's not, you know, the main thing, you know. But it's more of like seeing Picard and how he's aged, and, you know, he wants to go on this one last mission, and because he's older now, and, you know, and it's good, really good to see that, you know. Always been wondering, you know, how, you know, Captain Picard would fare after all these years. So that's pretty much, like I said, I wasn't going to go into complete detail about everything, but pretty much that's the first half of the season. There's 5 more episodes to go, so what I'll probably do then is, after the first season of Picard ends, I'll come back and tell you about my thoughts about the second half and the season as a whole, and all that happy good stuff. So and also Picard has also been renewed for a second season, so we will be seeing sometime, most likely next year, of season 2 of Star Trek Picard. So that's exciting too. But anyways, that's my take on the first half of the season. Any questions, comments, whatever, put them down below. And as always, if you like this video, Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up and hit that notification bell for future videos. Let me know if there's anything I can do better to improve these videos for you. Anything. I'm open to anything. But, oh, and also if you want to follow me on Instagram, that link's down here too. And, but, as always, I'll see y'all in the next video. So, live long and prosper, everybody. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.